So this is something I've definitely been wanting to do. Just make a simple reaction video to a movie I just saw. The film that I just saw, or yesterday, matter of fact, because I was just way too tired to even talk about it last night, was Five Nights at Freddy's. And coming out of it, definitely worth the watch. But I do see how critically it's bombing. Though, I guess what I'm trying to bring to this video and to everybody out there is it doesn't matter if a film is good on any grading scale. If you enjoy it and you like it, definitely go out and support it, or stay at home and watch it through Peacock. I personally feel like this film has like a lot of emotion and weight to me, just because like I grew up with the games, just like everybody else is probably watching this movie right now. Um, but for sure, I would say that middle school era, just watching videos on Markiplier, or just playing the game on our phones or on our fucking PCs, and just talking about like what we see and go through. It's just like so. I guess the right word would be like it brings up a lot of memories, and feels pretty good. I remember when this movie was announced like so long ago, and me and my friends were just like joking around saying, "No way, it's going to come out." Like, just because like I knew like at the time a lot of films were just like not coming out, they're like being announced and stuff, but you weren't expecting it. Like, uh, Black Adam, right? That movie, what, over 10 years as well? Took a while to get started, and we thought the same thing would happen to the FNAF movie, but finally we got to it, and I could say like it was worth the wait. Um, like on my rating scale, and this is a biased standpoint, I would personally give it an 8 or a 9 out of 10. Um, but I can't see how some people would just like who don't know the fan base, don't know the games, don't know anything, are gonna go in confused. But I don't think it should be anything lower than a 6, just because if you're paying attention to the small details, you know, focusing on what people are saying, um, it should be like around that 6 to 7 tier. I do understand that this film does have a lot of pacing issues, and that's honestly one of my major concerns. Just because like I feel like throughout the whole movie, you didn't really have to go back to Mike Schmidt's backstory on losing his brother as much. Like yeah, you should go back, but like speed it up a little. Like on that third time or fourth time, it was already at the point where like he meets the ghosts and stuff. And I feel like that should have just happened in the second one, because like we already know what he's processing through, what his mind is going through, and like why he's doing this. And oh, and yeah, definitely there's gonna be a lot of spoilers. I probably should have mentioned that in the beginning. Um, dang, I feel bad for people who are gonna watch this and be like, "What?" um, but yeah, this like from like the beginning of the film, like it establishes what it's going to be, and like you just it's just like it's so funny, like wholesome, and I like the way that it was made. Like for me personally, I have a greater interest in horror and just wholesome moments, and like that blend of the two just made it for like such a more fun experience. Take away the whole FNAF aspects, and I still would have liked this if it was like different characters and stuff. Just because like the way it was filmed, the shots that lingered on certain scenes, the noises. I mean, the noises are part of like the characters and stuff. So I guess I mean, still, I still would have liked it no matter what. But like, beginning of the film, security guard dies, and you're just thinking, oh, bro, that was me on like on the third night or something at the game, And the intro starts and like it's a total jam, bro. It's like you're at a rave or something. You're bopping your head. You're like, yeah, bro, this is what I want to watch. Um, and then we get introduced to the main characters. We meet Abby, Michael Schmidt. Uh, we know he sucks at his job being security guard. He has that traumatizing issues in his mindset. So that's just like, all right, we understand his emotions. He's probably like a lot of people out there. Can't handle a job. Getting fired for doing dumb stuff, and just trying to get through life. I guess thugging that shit out. Um, and like honestly, once it got to the moment where we meet, Steve Raglan, technically, William Afton's character, played by the fucking god, goat Matthew Lillard. I was just jumping out of my seat. Like the way he performs in this movie, it's just like the way I remember him from like Scream and Scooby Doo. It's like I just love him. He's like the best. I don't think I can see anybody else playing that role. In my opinion, maybe anybody else could, but just like in my opinion, like okay, he's the right guy for sure. And throughout this whole movie, there's like subtle dialogues, and it's just like if you catch it once, you'll notice it again throughout the movie, and that's kind of why I liked it more. Just like because the dialogue, I would say it spoke to me, but like it was interesting and catchy. So we're going through the film. We get to meet the FNAF characters, Chica, Bonnie, Freddy, and Foxy, and I mean, I feel like this is the part where once Michael accepts the job, it's just a lot of exposition dump. So I can see why some people might not like that, but I personally didn't mind it just because like it goes of how the games and films are. It's like, oh, it's like a Chuck E. Cheese parlor. Like they gotta show you the videos. Like it's like putting you in that job, and I kind of like that. I went to go see this with my families, so. When I asked them like how they felt about this movie, they're like, "Yeah, I liked it. I understood it pretty well." So that's what I'm kind of saying. Like if you're new to this world, I feel like, oh, you'll still get a good enjoying just because like it reminds you of stuff that you know. You know. Um, but yeah, I would say that going back and learning about all the fucking backstory on Michael Schmidt's traumatizing past could have been cut down just a little bit. Um, Same as well with the Vanessa character, just because like he talks about it again with her in one scene, and I feel like, oh yeah, that's kind of what we're getting at, So, either cut down the flashback scenes, or shorten, I guess, the talk with Vanessa. But I really did like that talk scene just because it proved that caring nature that Vanessa had, and um, yeah, you could see her as a good character later on, especially in the film, because we get to find out like what her motives are. And I'm gonna be honest, for like the mystery part aspect of the film, I feel like it didn't do that well of a job, just because like the moment when we meet William Afton's character at the beginning, when he's like giving Michael Schmidt the job, that dialogue is very, it's not subtle at all. Like you could tell, oh, he's hiding something. Like he doesn't want to read his last name. You're like, oh, okay, so this is where we're going. So it's like a more calm, comedic approach to it, but it still works because then you're still wondering, oh, okay, are somebody controlling this? Oh no, the ghost are, right? But then like by the end we learn, oh, it's a mixture of kind of both. So I feel like that kind of implemented like a new certain thought and lore to the movie, or to the whole genre, just because like the games could get a bit confusing. Sometimes you're thinking, oh, somebody put a virus in the robots and that's why they're acting out, or just because the robots want to act out just because and it did do that. Like in this movie we see that the animatronics are like killing people who were hurting in the shop, and we see that the robots want to protect Abby and kill or hurt Michael Schmidt for like going close to them. So it shows that they have like their own initiative and stuff, and I really like that just because like it makes them their own character, and like you understand, you know, you don't understand like their entire backstories, but like you're getting a good glimpse of like who they are. You know, they could be good or they could be bad depending on how you act on them. Um, now, uh, I feel like the only other thing that worked kind of was the aunt character, just because she gets killed off. I found her like really annoying, but her character was funny, especially with the lawyer. Like the way the camera would just focus on this the actor's face of the lawyer. You just like I shouldn't be here, and that's like so human like, and like it's something like that would happen in real life. You know, like if I'm like sitting there, I got a council table or something, like bro, I don't want to be there. Like I'm just gonna be making faces or something, you know. And like that's what this film does. That I feel like a lot of other films don't do is like they take away or don't highlight and show human moments that are like really important. You know, that's kind of why I like a lot of you know films that I've watched in my years as a film student is like some shots will linger on certain emotional and impactful scenes, and it might not be this big giant moment, but it might be just something small and important that you might miss on a first glimpse. That's what I really like, that this movie really highlighted those type of shots. um, but yeah, I mean, we talk about the sequence of horror. Because it is a PG-13 movie, it does take away some, some scary aspects of it. But I feel like if you're like, emotionally attached to these characters, you know, going for, an hour in, you're gonna start, feeling for them. And that's kind of how I felt. I was like, okay, I don't want to see them hurt, especially the Abby character. Like her character reminds me of somebody that I'm writing about in like one of my scripts, and like her character, smart, adventurous, has that whimsical, dreamlike, kid aspect to them, and I really did like that. So I didn't want to see her character get hurt in any way. Um, and you're just like falling for them. You're like, okay, this character could be like my sister or something. Like I feel like I know them like that. Um, and that's why I love the writing. Like it made the characters just feel impactful to you. Um, but yeah, because like some scenes were cut short, or they turn the camera around to show somebody's reaction to it, it kind of did take away from the horror aspect. But the sound effects and the way the characters would react, you know change the experience, so it's not scary but still more enjoyable because it's funny. One of the scenes where Chica's cupcake eats a guy's face, and one of the robbers goes in to see, and he's just like dumbfounded. He's like, "What the fuck did I just see?" And he's just like, "All right, I'm running." And we see through the cameras, and the monitors and shit. That I'm really glad that they used a lot, because they it's a big thing in the game. So I'm really glad they see it. That we saw it here. He's like, he's just running away. He's like, "Hey, bro, I don't care. I'm out of here." And he runs into the storage room, and Bonnie's there, and you're like, "Ooh, dang!" Like you weren't expecting that, because like I feel like in an other person's not a fan of the movie would be like, "How did he get there?" I thought they're walking, they're roaming around, they're just looking for anything, but as fan of the games and stuff, you're like, "Oh, he's in the storage room, and he's probably gonna be in there in a while." So you're like, dang. um, but yeah, by the end, I would say that because it also does more exposition dump, I could see that's like why people are getting mad at the film critically, just because like it should build up to it and not just dump everything at your face. Like I feel like changing the lore of Vanessa being the daughter of um, um, William really didn't shock me, just because you kind of started getting little hints of that. You're like, okay, why does this character have such interest in it? And you're thinking, okay, maybe she's related. Maybe she was here before. She likes the characters. The animatronics. I mean, in some way. So she has like a past history, right? So you're thinking, maybe she's related to William. Maybe not. We don't know. Just because like the names are always changing, and characters might not relate to somebody, or they might, and especially because we knew that Matthew Lillard was signed on for 3 movies. You're like, okay, how are we going to see him in the rest of these films? And there's no way he's going to be Steve Raglan, right? Just because like you don't bring that type of manpower, that actor power, or whatever you want to say, to be in a horror movie like that. And you're like, okay, yeah, I kind of expected that, just because there was like once dialogue that just like felt off, when Michael was trying to bring back Abby into the FNAF restaurant, and Vanessa was like, "Oh, if you bring your sister back here, I'm gonna shoot you." I'm like, dang, that's pretty fucked. And you're just thinking, well, why would you say that? You're like, okay, there's deep connection here that you could just feel, and I did like that. Her character helps out throughout the movie. It gave her a lot of purpose, and I'm just glad she wasn't sidelined. Um, though I feel like I don't know why, but the fucking William Afton in the Spring Bonnie suit just like made him so overpowered, like fucking Iron Man in fucking armor suit. Like he fucking fights and he pushes Mike Schmidt and he's like flying like hundreds of yards like out, and I'm like, damn, I need a suit like that. But like I guess it kind of takes away on the power levels in a way, just because you in a scene we see Vanessa kind of holding off William, but I guess you could say William didn't want to hurt her, so that's kind of why he didn't overpower her. But like there's still like a way that just confuses you a little, like who's strong and like where the power level goes. It didn't really mind me that much, just because like I was already interested in like how it's going to end, and like, oh, is Abby going to die? Is the scooper, the springlock face going to get her in some way? And I was just really invested, just because like it had like a lot of montages that really added on to the film. Like we see them playing around, or looking and playing around the the restaurant, and then there's like this one scene where Abby, Mike and Vanessa and the 4 animatronics, they go and build the fort, and I'm like, that's so wholesome. Like, I wish I was there. It kind of really reminded me of like ET in a way. You're like, okay, like it has that aspect. It has like that fantasy. Like I want to be there. I want to live in that world. Um, so yeah, I was invested in these characters. I didn't want to see anything happen to them. But like by the end, I feel like Matthew Lillard's character stole the show. Though his line of "I'll always come back" didn't, in my opinion, go as I expected. It just kind of just it just happened. Like I like that he decides to stay in the suit instead of go out. Oh, I also do hate the fact that he wasn't purple at all in the whole movie. Like we know him as Purple Guy in the game, so like a subtle hint to that would have been funny. Maybe like put like an initial as Steve Raglan. Steve P Purple Man. Raglan. That would have been something cool to do, but I really did like his character a lot. Just like it's like the Julius Caesar, where he's like giving his speech at the end. You're like, damn, like he has like that ego, that power. You're like, shit. um, what else do I want to say? Uh, I know the whole movie revolves around ghosts and phantoms, and but I kind of just saw it. I mean, I know it's trying to set up more movies, but the fact that the whole restaurant starts break down and uh, get destroyed kind of takes away from the reality of this world a little bit, just because you're like, okay, what are we doing here? Is it like, what's that one movie? 13, not 13 Ghosts. Poltergeist. You know, Poltergeist, where like the ghost eats the house in itself, and like it just becomes like that graveyard. I'm guessing it's what they're trying to do, right? Just because like they want to set up the next film where the whole restaurant is all degraded and moldy and stuff, so we could put another security guard in there to make like the Halloween attraction film, right? And I like that setup. You know, it makes sense. It works for this film. Um, Dang. Yeah, I have so much I really want to say about this film, but I don't know. This is my first time doing this. I think I'm gonna like the way it's gonna come out. Hopefully the audio isn't that bad. I need to get a mic for sure. I'm hoping to do a stream, just because I really want to play FNAF, uh, and record it. You know, it's like it's so fun, and that game. Like when I got my phone, like my very first phone, and I started watching YouTube and everything. Like watching this game go on through life really impacted me. You know, and you're like, okay, this is just an indie game, not much, but then you start seeing that the fan base can get really supportive. You know, and if something's good, people are going to like it and want more of it. Sure, I wasn't there all the times. Like I would say, once Sister Location came out, I stepped out for a little bit just because like that fourth game really intrigued me a little. You know, I like I like that game. It's just like I guess I didn't really know how to play it because like the last three games, oh, monitor the cameras, see where they're at, and like, you're good. But I feel like for me, just because like I didn't have a PC at the time, and I feel like you have to use the audio cues for the fourth game to know like the characters are outside the doors or not. Really made it less fun for me. Um, but it's still a good game. Like watching Markiplier or MatPat or anybody else, just play it. It was like really, 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 really great, a great time. Just like those days you're just like in bed eating ice cream or eating something, and you're just watching this video and they're making you laugh. Okay, so there's like this one scene in the movie where the fucking like the Max character, who's like the babysitter of the movie, goes in looking for the robbers or like her friends, and like Freddy, like the ghost of Freddy, lures her in, and she's like sticking her hand in there. And we've seen this like in the trailers, right? You're thinking, oh, it's just going to be like that hand jump scare and like she's dead, right? But no, it adds on, and it does the fucking bite of 87. God, that shit was amazing. Dang. And the way the body fell, it's like so funny. It was like flop and like dang. Oh man, there's a lot of good scenes in this movie, and I definitely recommend people to go watch it. And I feel like going to the theater, especially for this one, adds to it. Because like when I walked into that theater, I was thinking, oh, people aren't gonna go. People are just gonna watch it on Peacock, and I'm a teacher, tutor for middle school, and like whenever I would talk about it or like talk about it with my coworkers, and the kids would hear that the kids were like still excited for this. So when I was walking into that theater, I was like, maybe there might be kids here, maybe not. And yeah, there were, but it was like a lot of people like my age, even older. They had like that face paint on, they had costumes, that cosplay. I'm like, dang, I should have went like that, bruh. But because like having an animatronic suit sounds pretty fucking tight. Just like you gotta have like big charisma and confidence to go in there like that, and like, it sounds fun. Though I kind of feel bad if you're obstructing people's view if your costume is too big. Like I've been seeing videos on TikTok, and like some suits are just like way too big to be in there, and I'm like, dang, that's pretty fucked. But it is what it is. um, so yeah, like if you want, I definitely would recommend just going out to see it in theaters, supporting it. Hopefully, the next two films do as well. You know, I'm really hoping that sometime throughout my life I get to work with the Blumhouse, just because I really do like you know, the way that they go through the process of making films. If not with Universal or Blumhouse, then hopefully Sony, something like that. But or A24 too, would it be such of a bad of a pick? But I feel like it's such a competitive state that I can't put myself up there just yet. But I'm thinking, yeah, that's about it. Really good film. If you're a fan or not, you're probably still going to enjoy it if you watch and pay attention to the details. Um, I'm definitely nervous on uploading this. I know I won't get a lot of views, but first time doing this, and I feel like it went pretty good. Okay. Um, Thank you guys. If I miss anything, and I'm still editing it, I might record myself and upload it to it and add on to it. But whatever the case, have a good one, y'all.